up, guys? It's Black Cloud, and today it's Bboy Strike, your host, and this is the Strikes Cypher Break Exchange. We have two special guests. My man Links.
Yeah.
Florida. My man Sette from Australia.
Australia.
Yes, sir.
Came in from Australia.
Yeah, super dope. These two really amazing dancers. We actually had a dope practice.
Right now.
Right now. Fresh off. Like, yo, it was mad dope. It's a pleasure dancing with you guys.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to see you guys in the spot and train with you guys.
Hey, thank you for sure. So I'm gonna start it off real quick with the first question. Where do you think where you were from? Like, how did it influence your style? Like, I know you're from Australia. Yeah. I know you're from Miami. How did it influence your style in terms of breaking and what you do?
You want to go first, bro? Alright. I mean, I think like Florida definitely has like a really foundational style. So like, from all like the OGs and all the history, and even like my friends around me, like we all kind of have that. I don't know how to explain it. Like a foundational style. You know what I mean? Like. It's kind of have everything, like, you know, tops, power, forward, transitions, freezes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think that kind of like resonates with everybody from Florida. Like you can see like, oh, everybody like that breaks from Florida, they have like the structure, you know what I mean? Right. And then some people have a certain style, like, you know what I mean? Like Flipside has their style, you know what I mean? You go more up in Florida, you get like skill methods, you got like, you know, come down. You have like all the different crews, but everybody kind of has like, you know, the same structure, but like with different, with different like their own little flavor to it.
That's dope.
That's really cool because there was an era, there was a time I remember where you couldn't really tell where people was from. I could really tell where you're from and the way you dance. You know? Who were we dancing with the other day as well? We were dancing with the
Gerson, yeah, All City Rockers.
All those guys.
Yeah, bro, all of them dance with the same style, and you can tell that they're all in the same crew.
And that's cool. That's what you want. You want people to dance from where they're from.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because when the internet came out, that stopped for a while. So now it's all coming back, which is really nice to see that people are dancing like the people from the town that they're from.
The region.
You know, like for me, my era. I think Melbourne's kind of changed a little bit, and I don't live there anymore. But my era, it was literally, and I learnt a lot of my stuff from the Fresh Socks guys. And a lot of it was about, for me, is your presence when you hit the floor, the way it's done, the style, the flavor. It didn't matter what you were doing. It didn't matter how much power moves you had. It was about literally coming down and making it look cool in the flavor, in your presence, and the way you're cruising in. Right. It was more about that, and just musicality, getting it on the music, making it a dance first and foremost. That's the style that I really come from my hometown. I mean, it's changed a little bit now. I think there's a lot of people that come from a lot of different countries that come through, all the uni students and all that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit different. You know, I'm not sure if we have much of a. Well, my crew does. My crew. I'm a part of 3 crews, but my crew, Fun Crew, we definitely have a vibe, and you can all tell we're a part of the same crew and we're from the same town because that's what we have. We've got that flavor. You know,
nice, man.
First and foremost, you know, the presence.
So just a quick question, man. So as y'all were coming up, breaking and learning, was there a guy that y'all saw, a b-boy that y'all saw, and y'all were like, "Yo, that's what I'm talking about." Like you're talking about presence and style. Like, you know. So when you're learning, who was the b-boy that you were like, that right there, man? Like that's hitting me a certain way, and I want to like be able to kind of like encompass that myself too. Like, who inspired you guys? Like, you know.
Yeah. You go on. I know exactly.
There's a lot of big boys.
You
wanna go first?
Yeah, man. Look, first and foremost, I was definitely inspired. I mean, for power moves, I was inspired by George A1. He basically taught me a lot, and then the generation that come after him. If you don't know him, Psy Monster. He's not really a b-boy, but he's like probably one of the top power movers. But for me and the style that I really picked up, I think I really got inspired by a guy called Llama Rock from Fresh Socks MZK. It's the way his presence hits the floor, like the way he rocks it out. This is something that I really took took from. Like just, not really the way he did things, but everything had a thought to it. It's like, oh, you know, like the way there was a thought in what position, how you were going to do it, and you know, like
like every movement had a meaning.
Yeah. And he taught me this have your own silhouette. I remember I won my first underage jam, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, you got any advice? He said, yeah, you're good, man. Just make sure you keep traveling in your own silhouette. So when we turn the lights off and it's just your shadow, everyone knows it's you. Everyone knows that's the step that you're doing. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I like to do. Even when I come and jam with all you guys, it's like, okay, cool. I want to step in and I want to look different. I want to also step foot and represent my town. You know what I mean? And hold that presence. You know, and then we bust out the power moves, and it's a little bit different. It's about just getting there and trying to do the twist. You know?
You gotta have them, right? You gotta have them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean,
how about you, man?
For me, there's a lot of like names I could give. I mean, definitely when I was growing up, I would say I was inspired a lot by like, I gotta give it up to like all my friends. Like, you know what I mean? That like I grew up with. So like, Zaku, Nels, Trunks. Everybody that would break around us that like was part of like the Miami scene that are like underground but they're not really known. Also other like big names like Rudy, you know Rudy Goblin. Lego, I knew in person, like you know what I mean. My friends in Future Force, D, shout out to D. Pablo, Kai. Yeah, man. There are a lot of people like in terms of like in Miami, but also like just studying and like form wise, like you know Migas, Stripes. In terms of power, like Thunder, Enemy Squad, Flow, like actual force, like you know. There's too many names, like, but like, yeah, man, you know, like a lot of people. I can't say there's one person, you know what I mean, but a lot of like different influences.
Yeah, it's always like that, man. Like you know, like you see somebody come out doing some sick top rocks, like yo. Who is that? You see somebody come out doing some sick footwork. It's like, yo, who is that too? Right? So it's pretty cool to be able to hear y'all talk about like, yeah, that's this guy has influenced me. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, you know, like I myself came from a YouTube era. I'm not gonna lie, I came from a YouTube era. So my first exposure was Korean b-boys.
Oh, Korean b-boys.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, like so they were killing like 90s air flares, and I remember, man, it blew my mind. I was like, what in the world? And then, you know, 2 years into breaking, trying to do like power moves, and then I get to see like what the American style is like. Oh, there's actual like foundation to this. You know, like I was new and nobody was giving me this stuff beside the computer screen.
That's it.
Man, and even to now, like, you know, like Burnunitcrew and the crew, when I joined them, like they've been showing me everything. Like, man, like yo, like this is the actual lineage. This is the language. You know,
that's nice.
It's a huge art form to it, and you know, it you develop a bigger appreciation for it. And you really do when you understand like what it's about. And you guys know a question?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Another question is, what's like a move that revolutionized your breaking, like that changed your breaking? Like you did this move and you're like, stop.
That's a good question.
That's crazy.
That's a good question.
I don't know if I have one.
Moves that revolutionized. Man, you go first. I gotta think.
Nah, chill, bro. Like one move. I mean, I would say like.
He asked the same question to Nels, and Nels gave the Dead Man 90.
He'd be doing that a lot.
And the Dead Man 90 was the one that took him to another level. He's basically saying like, what's one that's really gonna...
I would say for me, what helped me a lot with understanding like awareness is just air flare for like levels and stuff. Cause like I had ground power first, and then I had like one air flare, but when I started training them, and then I got like multiple of them, and then I started mixing it with like foundational power, like swipes, you know what I mean, flares, windmills, different, and then like doing levels with it. I feel like that's when I felt like, oh, like, you know what I mean, like I got like this is, and also it's like a move that I always liked. You know, I would watch like Benny Komodo or like Tough Kid, and they would be going off. You know what I mean? And like so I feel like putting that in there when I finally got it made me feel like, yo, this is cool. But that's just me, you know?
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, if we think about it in that
My answer's so basic.
Yeah.
Air player.
That's cool, man. Yo.
I think what put me to the next level, you know, this was back 2009 maybe. Do you know what I mean? A particular move would definitely be like a baby mill or munch mill. When I learned that move and when I was able to combine this move, bro, and no one was doing it in my town. No one was doing it.
It made you feel good.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you know,
it made me feel good.
There was a guy a generation before who did it, and then he wasn't around, and then I was the only one doing it, and then everyone learnt it maybe 5 years, 6 years later. Other than that, I would say a certain style as well. Like for me, not just a move, you know, because I don't think that I define myself down to a move. I think training on the street. Yeah, so I'm from the country. I'm about an hour out from the city of Melbourne, and I used to walk to the train station for an hour, take the train for an hour, and then I used to train at this place called Tivoli Arcade, and I used to train with other breakers. I got a few lessons before that, but I didn't really pick up the style of breaking until I really rocked up to a street spot and practiced with some good b-boys, you know. And then you could really emulate, you know, your style, you know what I mean? You can really pick up the style of doing like a front step or an Indian step. You can really pick up the style properly. I think that's what changed the game for me, training at a street spot.
Nice. That's a good answer.
That question when he brought up that the certain moves and stuff like that more or less help you go to another level. The ill thing about it is some of those things, not only do they break you up to the next level, it actually helps define your style. Example is my crewmate Stripes, he uses the rewind halo, all right? Now he can do any other power, but when he uses those rewind halos, you go.
You're like, yo.
That's you, man. That's you.
Shout out to Stripes, bro. I used to watch
man.
Stripes a lot when I was growing up.
That's mad.
It's fun.
Yeah, Stripes.
What's a battle? What is the battle that you've been in that made you away from the regular, your local scene to like, bam, this put me on the radar.
Oh, like on the map.
Yeah, which is the one against which I mean, it might be just one jam, but really, honestly, man, sometimes it's just the one battle. Like me, us versus the Renegades, and next thing you know, it gave such a good show. Which was the one that really like threw you up into a known space other than just where you're from. I mean, for me, I can already see some of the ones that I mean, I'm from another country and I was watching.
You say freestyle sessions. Freestyle sessions?
Freestyle sessions when I saw you battle, what's it called? When I saw you battle Victor and I saw you do like that Flare 90, your little signature.
Do you know what
I mean? Like, that's the first time I saw you, and that's the first time I remembered you. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's fresh.
Because I think it was Nels battling too, and he put his name on the map on that one. But like also you, because I was like, yo, who's this little like?
I feel like in America, I didn't like my performance at the time because I was only breaking 4 years, so I wasn't as advanced as I was now. But no, so like Philly Open 2021, I just got out of high school. I've been breaking 4 years, and that was the first big jam that I won. And even though like, I was 4 years in, and like now when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I was like, I wasn't bad, but like, you know, I was like, I'm way better now. That's a jam that like I think put me on the map in terms of the US. And then like the freestyle sessions like came after, you know what I mean, everything else. But yeah, definitely those things if you guys say so.
Yeah, I think it might be freestyle sessions. Because I think it's the battle with you and Icy Ives.
Yeah, I remember I battled him. Yeah.
Bro.
I mean, the whole world watches USA.
Yeah.
Like we all watch you guys. You know.
So whether good or bad, we're
watch
where
all
the
your
proving
main
grounds
events.
is.
You know what I mean? On the other hand, no one watches Australia. Although
but
a couple of Europeans where they fight the moves.
They just go.
I ain't gonna say nothing. But yeah, like for me, I think there's two levels to it. I mean, you get known in your state, and then you get known in your country, and you've got to break the barriers of getting known in your country, and you got to take out someone who's well known in your country. You know, for me, I took out a dude called Fongo. He's still quite famous now, actually, and he was already up there. He'd been up top of the scene for maybe a good 5-6 years already prior. And he crashed on me, and I took him out. And then from that point on, this was just a qualifier to get into like a top 16 you know, representing like best in the country or whatever it was, whatever battle it was. We used to call it Shadow Wars at the time. It was sponsored by Red Bull. It was like our version of Red Bull before we had Red Bull. And then from that day forward, I was invited to every single event, getting closer and closer and closer. And then, what's it called? I ended up coming second for the Red Bull Australia or something. In my,
Red Bulls.
And then I battled Vero. I battled Vero. I battled his crewmate Effie.
Yeah.
But I battled Vero for the Asia Pacific final. Red Bull BC1.
You remember him now?
Okay.
Just watch the battle. Just I'm not going to say nothing.
Yeah, what year was
watch
that?
the battle. We'll talk a little bit more about it off camera. But watch the battle. You tell me what you think. But that's what kind of put me on the, sort of the map. And then that was a long time ago, so people forget now.
Red Bulls put me on the map too. I've only done 2, but the one that I won and the one that I made it far but I didn't win. Which was the national final, the USA. I feel like even though like I didn't win, like, you know what I mean, like some of my like highlights are like in there. So like people like see them and like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, from this. Also like when I battled Alvin and Breakex. I would say that's one too. And Shose, that was Shose.
Even for the show, that's how you were scouted. He was scouted from that battle.
Oh, for
we
real?
all were like, we need this dude. You know, we got to get this dude for the show. You know, and that's how he was scouted.
That's cool.
Those battles, when they come out like that, everyone starts to talk. When they start to talk, you go, man, did you see this kid? Right? So when that happens, I always, being an older guy, I go, okay, so these are like the proving grounds that they were when I was young. The difference was, when I was young, you had to prove it in a cipher. All right? Cipher battling seems to be not as popular anymore. Like, do you guys see that anymore where y'all are at?
It's definitely not as popular anymore.
It's funny because we in our hometown, we were the only city that used to cipher. All the other cities never used to cipher. And for a while there, when I was young, I used to call out I used to do this thing where I would, if we had a famous b-boy come to town, I'd tell him to come to this club, and then I'd get our DJ to come and DJ, and I'd call him out. I'd call him out, but it ends up becoming rumors, and if you don't do it enough, no one's going to remember you. You know what I mean? Like you got to keep doing it. You got to consistently hit the ciphers. Like I did it for a short time, and it was kind of my thing. I was probably one of the only guys that was calling dudes out from where I was from. But you got it from where I'm from, called Pepito. And that's all he does. He just calls dudes out.
He just calls people out and he records it. He calls Strikes, calls Rudy out.
Shout out to Pepito.
That's it. Shout out to Pepito, bro.
But that's campaigning. Like, honestly, like when you think about it, right? When you go to a Red Bull jam or these big jams, you're basically battling and everyone sees, right? So it's like, you see these huge things. But in an actual cipher battle, it's only who was there that saw it.
That's exactly.
So what happens is you got to do it a lot. And you got to get them talking. When they start flapping them gums, oh man, you seen this kid? That's your campaigning. But you're campaigning in a real grimy style. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel like, sometimes I want to ask if that even still exists around where y'all are at. Or even if it's been abandoned.
There's not even that many jams to begin with, that happen in Florida. Florida's kind of dead now.
We gotta bring that back. We're gonna bring it back.
I feel like it happens sometimes. You know what I mean? I feel like if the situation calls for it, like, you know what I mean. And usually it's like, for me, it only happens when it's real beef. Like if there's real and not even like, it doesn't have to be beef, but it's just like this guy's talking smack, and then we're like, oh okay, let's battle, and then we battle. But I don't see it happen anymore a lot, where it's like, I'll just call you out just to exchange.
You
know what I mean?
Like the way that you're saying it like that, like that's just the motivation. You say, okay, because we got beef now, I can go ahead and do something. But the truth is, like, if you really look at it, like, you should look at it more like game hunting. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at it like, I'm just head hunting, because that's what we used to call it. If someone came from out of town, the only reason why Burn Unit was even mentioned is because anytime someone came from Chicago, someone came from Texas, it was getting at them. We didn't care. It was unpersonal.
And then they would talk about it.
My skills.
And they might actually talk shit later, but truly, like, the talk about it was, who are those dudes? They always go, I just walked into the jam, they're getting at me. And I just look at it like, these are the small, beautiful things that are kind of like eroded in the world of breaking, in b-boying as a whole. I don't think it should be lost. So that's why I'm just throwing it in there.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? You guys are champions of where you're from. You see what I'm saying? So we talk about Florida, right? Since you and I are basically Florida raised in a sense, me being a Flipside member. The quality of that is something I wouldn't want to be lost. And since you're an active player, you're an active like champion, you could be like, yeah, I'll do these ciphers. I'll do these battles and so on and so forth. The grand show of things, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna get gully for a second. Let me throw my rain suit on and jump into the cipher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How you feel about that for real though?
Yeah.
You see, like it's like, yo, that's not feasible, or it's like,
No, I think it is. I feel at the same time. I mean, for me personally, it all depends like on the mood. If the DJ plays like good music and I'm feeling it, you know what I mean, I'll start ciphering.
Yeah.
And there's been jams where I just start ciphering. You know
what
what
song? What song? What song brings the beast out?
Dang, bro, you keep me in a spot like that.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Like a good song.
Yeah. What's the one that brings the beast out? And I'm asking both of y'all.
Probably like a lot of old.
I'm gonna ask all y'all.
Like a lot of people, for me, like a lot of songs that people think are like corny, I feel like those would be like the ones that get me kind of hyped sometimes. Like when I'm in a cipher.
That don't bother me. Go ahead, just
like
let it fly. Go ahead. If you say Mariah Carey's, Can't Let Go, I'll be like, all right. Is that what you're feeling?
Things I don't know names. Like I know how they sound.
Whitney Houston, you give me.
Yeah, like you said the Mexican. Like if I hear the Mexican,
yeah.
and I'm in the right like mood, and I hear the Mexican, like I'll feel like
funny.
you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
You know what I mean.
Nah, that's a good one.
I like
I'll start dancing to it.
So is it the Mexican? Is it the Mexican?
Like James Brown.
Which one?
James Brown.
James Brown has a lot of different stuff.
Come on, man. Give it the song.
Give it up.
Yeah.
The links cosign.
Give it up, Turtle Loose.
What about you, Seti?
Soul Makosa.
That's yours?
Yeah, because it's nice and slow and it changes it up a little bit and you can really just groove to it. You know what I mean? And then if someone puts that on like kind of towards the beginning of the jam, that just warms me up. That goes okay. Let's see who can actually dance. You know what I mean? Like, you know, who can warm it up a little bit.
Well, that one is fire. Yeah, that one will get me dancing. What's that one called?
Yeah.
What's that one called?
Soul Makosa.
Soul Makosa? Yeah. If I hear that, I'll be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
See, knowing the name is one where you can go like, I can access that lives in your heart. You see how it just came right up? I was like, oh yeah, he's talking about that song.
Yeah.
So having those ones is also knowing how to get to that pay dirt. I'm gonna cut your head off with this song.
Yeah.
So yours is the Mexican?
No, I would say like I would rather choose that one.
Okay.
Give it up,
that one gets me going.
Give it up, Turtle Loose.
Give it up, Turtle Loose. That's a pretty good one too. James Brown. That's a good one.
Nah, but not better than Sama Kosa.
Yeah, Sama Kosa
goes hard.
Yeah, it goes
It's
hard.
good.
And then I like Sama Kosa when they play Sama Kosa.
Yeah, it's really chill.
But then they start speeding it up.
Oh
and
yeah.
the DJ starts putting the break behind it, and then you're like, you know what I mean? And then you can actually battle to it. But first they play it like just the slow, you know, and then they.
The stumble down to that song is what makes it dope. Where it just goes dun 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 dun. That is like it has this like float with the then like you can really play with
structure.
It's got a lot of good structure.
All right, Strike. What's your
What's your song?
spicy song? Always puts everyone on the spot.
Yeah, it does.
We got the B-boy questions.
Sama Kosa.
That's dope song. Or
I have songs that like get me hyped for practice. Like one song that gets me hype is like it's in the Storm video. The Brothers Gonna Work It Out.
Oh yeah.
What's it called?
I don't remember the name.
Chemical Brothers, I think.
Oh, Brothers Gonna Work It Out.
Yeah, that one.
That's just Chemical Brothers.
Yeah, Chemical Brothers.
Yeah.
I have to search. I have to
They don't
search
play that
eras.
jams though.
What's that DJ Flake song? That Ethiopian flag or something?
Oh, there's one like that too.
Yeah.
That DJ Flake track? That Ethiopian
I found
flag?
that. I figured
Oh,
out.
I knew one.
It's
Yeah,
Nas.
it was dope.
It's
Nas?
Get
You like
Down
Nas?
by Nas. Get Down
Okay,
by
yeah,
Nas.
that's fire.
Get Down by Nas?
Get Down by Nas.
Get Down.
Yeah, it's got that sample, that James Brown sample. It's got the James Brown sound.
Yeah. Puts you in the mood.
Or Made You Look. That's a dope song.
Made You Look? Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Actually, that one's
You're a slave to age.
Oh, man.
What about you, Ravish? What?
Oh, man. Renegades of Funk.
Yo, Renegades of Funk. Yo, I'm gonna play that at a jam. I'm going off.
Yeah, I know.
I might change to that one.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, that
That's
one.
a tough one.
Dude, when I like that, just puts me in the mood to throw power. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, it just makes me want to go off.
Yeah.
When I hear it, I want to go off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Power music,
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
The other than that, man, there's this one that kind of like I don't know, like the music just holds a good place in my heart. Is Across 110th Street.
Oh yeah.
Across 110th Street.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but that one it just kind of like plays a story in my head, and it's like, yo, I'm like, nobody believes in me. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
So
Like, you make yourself like
So
the main character.
now you're tiptoeing into my song. Right? My song that is one that I break the chainsaw out.
Yeah.
Is actually Sly and the Family Stone Underdog.
Ooh.
Because, right, and I've had this conversation with Wing, right? I talk with him. I was like, you know, you got in Japan, you listen to these songs and you love them and you know the sounds and you enjoy them, but you don't know what the guy's saying. And I was talking to my father-in-law. Okay, my father-in-law loves Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. And I had sat with him in the car and I said, you know, Tosan, you know what he's saying in I Did It My Way? And he's like, no, I have no idea what he's saying. I said, I know, because if you did know what he was saying, you'd cry. Now, the reason why I'm saying that when it comes to Sly and Family Stone is I feel like, me personally, when I was growing up, I was a bit of an underdog myself, right? So when I hear it, the stuff he says, I'm like,
you relate.
I was expecting to get a fair shake, but don't let you forget that you're the underdog, and you gotta be twice as good. Yeah.
That's
You
remember it now.
You go, when you play that song, right? For me personally, when you play that song, I start to think about, everyone in this room don't think I'm the freshest.
I gotta prove him.
Let's go. It's
that beat drop.
It's just, and they don't understand. Like, and I was talking to Wing about this. I was like, Wing, if you understood what this, I'm talking about Wing Zero Foundation Group. If you understood what he was saying, the monster will come out. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that every b-boy should have different tools in the arsenal. When they have that song come on, the monster gotta come on. Whatever song you chose. You know what I'm saying? There's some that make you happy. There's some that make you really want to get loose and all this kind of stuff. But then there needs to be one like, I'm finna tear you apart. And hell and high water gonna stop me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked. I was like, you know what is the song that you just want to take this guy apart like a junkyard? You know what I mean? Hell yeah. So yeah, that would be the one that would probably be like 400 more songs after that.
I'm thinking
Helter Skelter.
Wait, what song?
You know Helter Skelter?
How does it go?
No, Helter Skelter Operation Lockdown.
This is the BCC.
You know Sean Price, right?
You
know Sean Price, right?
Yeah, Sean Price.
Sean Price and Rock Ness has a group called Helter Skelter, bro. You know
low-key Boomba, yeah. If I hear that in a jam, that makes me want to go off.
Oh, you seen that Xeno footage that Rudy put out?
I don't know. You gotta show me.
Or the Strive footage.
Is it to that song?
Strive.
Yeah. Lego put all these
Lego be putting it to those
and he puts it to songs like
that.
Lego's
video about Strive, that's Operation Lockdown about it's a raw song.
You gotta always know that there's a song that'll pull you into another dimension when things kind of black out. You know what I'm saying? But past that, man, like I really feel like, you know, you're moving on up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all youngsters out there really trying to take over the world. Where do you think you're about to go now? Like, what's the future hold for y'all? Like,
it's different for me.
Is it
I've been around for a while. You're on the come up.
Is it
You're on the come up.
Is it the actual big battle circuit? Is it the regional stuff? Is it going around the world and teaching? Is it being an ambassador for breaking for the Olympics? What is the future for young Links?
I mean, I would say breaking is something that I definitely love, because if I didn't, I wouldn't do it this much. So for me, even like doing stuff like this, just coming to like your place and practicing and spending time together, that counts like as something that I would count, even though it's not like doing a big jam.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely, like right now I'm doing like a show that's like touring, so I'm doing that and I'm breaking, and I'm thankful that I get to break for work. You know what I mean?
What's the name of the show?
It's called 360 All Stars.
360 All Stars.
Yeah,
Shout out to them.
So
yeah.
But I definitely when I have my time, I've been doing like a lot of training, and I want to keep training and making face melters and getting better at power, and everything. Man. But I definitely want to hit up some battles, you know what I mean? And not just in the US. I want to I really want to branch out, do some Europe, Asia. I want to go to Japan. You know what I mean?
What does your parents think of this?
They like it. They're like, yo, if you make it work, you're
Filipino, right?
So my dad is Puerto Rican and Filipino, and my mom's Venezuelan.
Oh, okay.
And then my mom is like, my mom at first was sometimes like, but now she's like, okay, you're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my dad always supported me, and my mom too. But my dad's just like, yo, if you're gonna do it, just be good at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't do it and be whack. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're gonna do something, all right, choose it and take it seriously. So yeah.
I always wondered that, because I'm coming from the standpoint, because I'm a parent.
Yeah.
You see, and of course I've made my way. Not through breaking per se, but I made my way through hip hop and made, of course, my life. But as a parent, you always worry for your child, because you don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, clearly, being able to break keeps you nice and fit, keeps you strong, keeps you resilient and stuff like that. But it doesn't necessarily indicate on paper that it pays the bills. Now, I am a firm believer in I don't believe in the saying starving artist. I don't like that saying. I'm a professional artist. I ain't starving.
I ain't starving,
You know what I'm saying? So I don't like pushing that narrative, and I don't like self-deprecation of people saying to themselves like, okay, because I have my passion as something that's expression and is art, now I have to kowtow to the world, and now I gotta go get a trade job or something like that. Sure, if you want to do that and enjoy your art without any type of financial burden or stuff like that, then yeah, go ahead and be a plumber, and then at the same time too, do the side breaking and spend your free time on that. So when I see that, especially with somebody who's in the younger sense, my son is thinking the same type of thing in some respects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wonder from other parents' perspective. That's why I'm asking. Both of you,
I mean, I would definitely say too, there's nothing wrong with doing honest work. You know what I mean? I've worked a regular job, before. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? Props to those people that do it, and if you could do it, you know what I mean? Because it's needed. People need people who could provide service, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But also I feel if you can do it with what you like to do, and you could go full throttle, you might as well. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You have more life experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for me. It's different for me, obviously, because I've been breaking for as long as you've been alive. You know what I mean? I've been breaking for 20 plus years. And to put it straight, my parents, my mom's Filipino, my dad's Italian. And I
didn't see that.
My dad was not down with it. He's proper Italian, and he was like, no, you got to pick up a trade.
You want to break that?
You know what I mean? What are you doing rolling around on the floor? What are you doing yourself? Yeah. I think it's only until kind of in the recent years, I'm traveling the world doing it, and I'm taking my family with me. I've got my family traveling with me as well. That he kind of sees it as something that worth doing. I was breaking full time, always. I was breaking full time, doing shows, doing battles, up until COVID. Then when COVID sort of hit, I did find sort of a trade because I was like, oh, I got to find something else. You know, when that kind of kicked in, I had the time to look for it and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So now I kind of just do when I'm home and not touring. So I kind of quit sort of breaking at home, and I travelled up the coast in a caravan, and now I do gutter cleaning and minor roof repairs on all the tropical roofs up in tropical North Queensland, and I get a lot of work. But then when I want to go have some fun, I just take my family on a tour. At the moment, I'm trying to get them all around the world.
Nice,
you know, just because, and my dream was always to travel and break, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm traveling and I'm breaking with you guys. You know, as for the future, like I think I'm going to release a breaking course, and that's kind of my future. Like I want to release a breaking course, and what I'm trying to do is teach someone sort of how to break, even have people to collaborate, and teach people how to break from beginning to end, because you know, from the beginning points of breaking to even just having constantly working on the course and giving people more and more content. I know it's not the sort of the traditional way of breaking. I mean, I feel like the best way to learn to break is having mentors. It's that Jedi Master stuff. You know, you've got to have the Padawan and the Jedi Master. You've got to have your mentors. But for me, I can't be there for my students on a daily. So what I want to do is I want to do my workshops, but then when I leave them with something, then come back and do the workshop, then leave them with something. Do you know, because I can't always be there for them because I'm traveling. You know, and that was my way of getting through to people and giving back to my scene or giving back to my community when I couldn't teach. I was teaching for 10 years teaching. I put up events for the community and all that sort of stuff. And then after battling and doing that a lot, I was like, man, I've got to, I wanted to perform, you know, and I love battling. Battling's dope. But it just wasn't paying the bills the way I needed when I had kids, you know. When I started having kids, I was like, man, I got to do that. But to be honest, if my courses go well, if my courses go well, it frees me up more time and I can start battling again more. Nice. You know, I do like maybe 3
Shout
events
out to Teddy and Kirby and his
kids. So that's me. Yeah, I want to do more events. Yeah. Nice. Last year I did like 3 events.
Yeah, I definitely want to rep more and I want to break and I want to battle. And yeah, I want to win and stuff, but I want to do it and break the way, like I want to be able to watch myself, like you know what I mean, like that's how I wanted to, to like, you know, approach the dance, not just win, but like, you know,
your way. Express yourself, expressing yourself
like honestly,
truthfully.
As
Bruce Lee said, you know, one to express themselves honestly without lying to themselves. That's something
that's hard.
You don't feel regret after that. You see, so. Yeah, well, you know.
Is that us?
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
It was amazing. Just this one day, I learned a lot. You know, this
practice. I learned a lot.
Practice.
I learned a lot.
Made us go hard.
Yeah, these guys are good at everything. Yeah. Breaking, skateboarding, riding, cars.
We try our best, but for real, thank y'all so much. If y'all come back to the A, man, just hit us up, man. We always got y'all back. So, hey.
Inspiring family.
Yeah. Don't worry, that's not.
Peace.